Vidoc here with another StarCraft 2 replay. Spawning in the bottom right as your red Protoss is Ence's Elfi, the Finnish player. And then the top left is Nunez spawning as your blue Terran on Bel Shir Vestage. So Bel Shir Vestage is a pretty big map, but there's only 2 spawn locations, so if the players do elect to do some cheese, they don't have to scout. Pretty standard openings by both. Elfi, or Nunez is electing to build a supply depot close to his command center. Usually a lot of players will choose to put the supply depot next to their ramp to block off incoming scouts from probes and other units. We don't see gas from either player, so it doesn't look like they're going to be going for any early tech. Nunez is building a barracks at 12, and at 13, Elfi is putting down a gateway. Pretty standard openings, nothing out of the ordinary. Elfi is putting down an assimilator, so he's going to be going for gas first. Actually, he's putting down 2 assimilators, so he's going for a gas-heavy build. While Nunez is building up some minerals, no, he's going to be putting down a second barracks. Possibly going to be putting on some marine pressure, as Elfi sends his first probe across the map to find out what's going on in Nunez's base. The orbital command is getting up and running, about halfway complete. Elfi sees exactly what's going on. He notices there's no gas. This probe's going to be able to get away from the Marine. The Marine is too slow for the very quick probe. The probe's just checking it one more time to see if there's expansion up. He doesn't see a second command center. And his cybernetics core back at home is almost done. Nunez is pumping out more and more Marines. Still no gas, and still no second command center. Might be putting down the second command center now, as his SCV is primed for that location. Waiting up for 400 minerals, and we'll be putting down that second command center. Elfi is chrono boosting out his first stalker and researching warp gate technology. And this probe here is sitting at the Xel'Naga tower, so based on these positions, Elfi will be able to see if Nunez wants to do some aggression, but he's not going to be doing that. He's going to be putting down a bunker. This probe is going to meet its fate and is destroyed easily by the 4 Marines. Elfi has a Zealot moving up into the natural of Nunez. But the Zealot's going to be moving back to the Xel'Naga tower. He's going to be waiting for some reinforcements. Got the Mothership Core and also the Stalker here. Not sure how much damage this trio of Protoss units is going to be able to do, as the bunker will be completed. And there will be a few Marines behind the bunker as well. So Elfi realizes the bunker's up. It's time to get out of there. So he chooses to get out while putting up his second Nexus. Robotics facility is a little bit on a way to completion. Elfi's going to put down another pylon. The Mothership Core is going to go in for some scouting work. He's able to see all those Marines and a third barracks being constructed. Once again, there's still no... Okay, well, here's the first tech lab. There's no reactors. The Mothership Core actually might be able to get some pot shots on these Marines, but has to be very careful, otherwise they'll get picked off. Got the Stalker waiting at the bottom to help fire on the Marines if the Marines get too close, but Elfi is not going to be able to do that as Nunez backs off. Nunez only has 4 SCVs on gas. He has 3 in the top gas, and then on the bottom gas he only has one SCV. A little bit interesting. Going to be researching STIM finally. And also be getting a reactor on one of his barracks, while Elfi is building 1 more gateway and 2 more simulators. And you have to remember that Nunez has not scouted at all. He does not know anything that's going on in Elfi's base. He salvages the bunker. Elfi is moving his way back. So, looks like Elfi is detecting some sort of aggression. He thinks that Nunez is going to be pushing out. But Nunez is putting up a 3rd command centers. Elfi's observer is just going to confirm what his suspicions were, that Nunez was going to be pushing out. Instead, he's just going to see a lone marine and engineering bay going up. He's not able to see this squad of marines, but is able to see everything at the choke point. He's going into the main base of Nunez to see what's going on. Sees the factory being constructed and 3 barracks with 2 reactors and a tech lab. Elfi has his robotics bay finishing up, and he's going to start immediately warping in Colossi. Doesn't have the thermal lance upgrade yet, but is building a forge. The observer can see these little marines and the one single marauder being rallied to the natural. But not much else is going on. The 3rd command center is almost complete. Elfi's going to be able to see this. Elfi sees and confirms there is a 3rd command center almost completed. So his initial suspicion of some sort of aggression was not correct. And because of that, Nunez has been able to build a 15 supply lead, get his 3rd up, while Elfi was not able to expand and was also assuming that there's going to be incoming attack, but it didn't come. So now this squad of marines is going to come out. There's no medevacs in this group, but there is a reactor with the starport connected now. So medevacs are going to be coming out of the production immediately. Nunez is going to be shooting down the rocks in the middle of the map. Now Elfi does have 1 Colossi, but the thermal lance upgrade is only half completed. So if Elfi does get into a confrontation for the next minute or so, he's going to have a lot of problems against Nunez because this Colossi does not have advanced range. I know that Elfi wants to see if he can hit the 3rd, but it looks like Nunez is thinking the same thing, and he's pulling all his units back to the 3rd. And there's only 1 stock here, 1 zealot. He's going to be blocking off with 5 sentries with force field, but you got to watch out for the medevac. Picking off a whole bunch of SCVs and targeting down the command center, but Elfi is about 35 supply down. He has to be careful here, as now he's going to... Okay, now he's going to recall back to his base. So he did some damage there, was able to kill 4 SCVs for basically the cost of 4 force fields. So that's not a bad trade, but he's going to have to do a lot better, as the supply gap is widening even more. It's over a 40 supply gap, and Nunez is building a huge lead. Elfi's put down his 3rd Nexus, still has over a minute before it completes, but he is getting more Colossi out. He has the thermal lance upgrade and has double forges. So he has level 1 attack and level 1 armor. Nunez only has level 1 attack. So the upgrades are at a slight advantage for Elfi, but you look at the supply difference, it's still about 40 and it's about 50 supply difference. So if there is an engagement, Elfi's going to be in a lot of trouble. He'll have to micro those Colossi very well, and he'll have to block those units and get some free kills. Observers are able to pick up on the entire army. There are 2 Vikings in this composition as well, but 2 Vikings against 3 Colossi is not going to do very much. But there's not that many gateway units for Elfi, and if you look at the army supply, there's over a 2-to-1 advantage for Nunez, and he's got a 60 supply advantage. So Nunez is going to come in here, and I'm not sure if Elfi's going to be able to do very much. As like I said before, you take a look at the army supply, it's a little bit closer now, but still 100 to 60. Oh, I'm sorry. 100 to 60. Nunez is leading Elfi. So if there is a confrontation, unless he has an unbelievable engagement, I don't think Elfi's going to be able to hold this off. But here it comes. The Vikings are targeting down the Colossus. The force fields are good, able to pick off a whole bunch of Marines at the front. The supplies are about 50 ahead still. One of the Colossi is immediately taking out the here's the planetary cannon. It's not going to be able to do very much. The second Colossus is taken down. More force field, but look at this big ball Marine and Marauders and Medevac. They're going to be just storming in here. There's not enough force fields. The Marines are just dancing in. He's not able to do very much. Elfi is taking a lot of damage. Look at the supply difference, 60 supply difference. And all the Marines and Marauders are now into the natural, destroying all the Stalkers. The last Colossi is down. The Zealots are finished. Everything's in red, and there's no probes at this. There's one Colossi over here, but he's taken down. And then Nexus is going down as well. Elfi says, G, well, I guess that's one half of a GG. Maybe it was just a game and not a good game. But Nunez was able to expand to his third. Elfi thought that there was going to be an incoming attack, so he was preparing for that. He had lots of sentries and only had one Stalker at that point. Nunez just kept mining and mining and had a huge economic advantage, and eventually he just barreled straight into the natural of Elfi, and he wasn't able to do anything. So thanks again. I'll see you guys next time.